NIO stock is exploding, and what I'm about to show you, a secret that was just unveiled here in China, gives you a glimpse of what the future looks like, and the future indicates that NIO will be a $1 trillion company with what I'm about to show you. This is absolutely amazing, and all roads lead up to what's about to happen. All right, but first of all, we got insurance registrations for October 21st to October 27th. NIO delivered 4,200 vehicles, well, 4,200 insurance registrations. And if you add that up with the weeks before, 3,900 the week before that, 4,700 the week before that, and 4,500 the week before that. So far, we're looking at around 17,300 deliveries, insurance registrations, up until October 27th. With 4 more days left of the month, we can easily get 3,000 insurance registrations within 4 days. No problem at all. And of course, at the end of the month, that's where they push for deliveries. So we're probably going to see a bit higher than that. But that puts us at around 20,000 insurance registrations for NIO. And of course, you have Envo, which is expected to deliver 5,000 vehicles this month. I've been seeing a lot more Envos on the roads here in China, those without license plate. That means they just recently took delivery of the cars, and they also started just delivering the all-wheel drive versions as well. So yeah, lots of Envos on the car, lots of Envo vehicles being delivered as well. So we could easily get 25,000 deliveries this month. That would be a new monthly record high for NIO, an all-time record high for NIO, which is absolutely fantastic. And let's not forget the fact that insurance registrations do not exactly equal deliveries. You can take delivery of the car but not have it registered for insurance yet. So the two do not exactly equate. So the actual number might be even higher. So I am very optimistic that this month we will get record high deliveries. So stay tuned for that. Oh, buckle up. All right, buckle up. The rocket ship is taking off. So what is this big secret? All right. We all know that NIO has a ton of swap stations. All right, swap stations, that's the biggest selling point for anyone that's ever looking to buy a NIO. But of course, swapping has its benefits, 3 minutes to swap, but it also has a flaw, a weakness. And NIO is going to solve this weakness. And that weakness is the fact that if 2 or 3 NIOs come to the swap station at the same time, there will always be a few NIOs that have to end up waiting, right? We have to end up wait. And that has happened to me a couple times with my NIO. You know, the waiting time is still going to be shorter than having to charge, all right? Charging takes like an hour. Waiting usually maybe you might have to wait for 5 minutes for a car in front of you, or maybe 10 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes is usually the longest that I've waited. And those extreme waiting times, those are only possible if, you know, those are first-gen swap stations and there's only a few batteries and those batteries aren't fully charged. But usually you don't encounter those situations. Average waiting time is just around maybe 3 to 4 minutes for a swap. And then you spend about 3 to 5 minutes for a swap. That's it, all right? But that problem is still there, right? On a highway, if 3 or 4 NIOs come to the swap station at the same time, well, some of them will have to end up waiting. Well, how do you solve this problem? You guys probably already know the answer, right? Multi-bay swap. Multi-bay swap is, of course, the answer to this problem. And just recently, these couple days, NIO has filed for new patents here in China, all right? Function patents, all right? Not design patents, function patents for multi-bay swap. And take a look, this is what the actual filing looks like. Absolutely crazy. Look at that. Of course, it's going to take up a larger footprint compared to what it does right now, right? Right now, it only takes up about 4 parking spots. This is probably going to take up a little bit more than that, but still, it's going to take up far less footprint compared to a charging station or compared to a gas station. And guys, what you're looking at isn't the final look of it, all right? It's not going to look like that. but it's the functionality. All right, the functionality is what you guys need to understand. This is what they're filing for. This is the patent that they're filing for. And this indicates that multi-base swap is eventually going to come in the future. And Dr. Shin Fei, head of NIO Power, has said that the goal of swap stations is to become the gas station of the future, the gas station of EV age. With gas stations, you can drive up with any sort of automobile and you might need a different octane gas, maybe 98 or maybe 92 or maybe diesel or maybe something else, right? And you can choose whichever one you want. With this, it's going to be the same thing, right? Already, right now, currently, NIO supports two different types of batteries, all right? You got the NIO battery pack, and then you have the ONVO battery pack. They have different dimensions, but the Gen 3 and Gen 4 swap stations are able to accommodate for that. But of course, you still have the issue of, if multiple NIOs come at the same time, people will end up waiting. Well, with this multi-base swap, you don't have to worry about that. And what's even more interesting is that this actually also hints at potentially having swap stations as parking, sort of dual layer parking, which is very, very interesting. You're looking at why is there like cars on top and stuff, and there's parking functionality for this, and that could perhaps indicate at a future where you could have these inside shopping malls, all right, and these would also function as like parking lots slash swapping stations, both 2-in-1 basically, which is absolutely insane. And let's not forget the fact that NIOs, all right, they already showed off the feature where you can swap the battery without anybody inside the car, autonomous swap. And guys, when we're talking about like autonomous stuff, people think about robotaxis, but you got to remember, even with Tesla, they're robotaxis, they're ditching, charging. They have to do conductive charging, like wireless charging, because it's so difficult to operate that like snake arm kind of thing to plug it into the car, which shows that battery swapping is actually the way to go in terms of autonomously getting electricity. And NIO is already able to do that, where you just park the car near the swap station, go get your coffee, do whatever you want to do, and the swap station will direct your car into the swap station, swap the battery, and then send the car back out and let it park at a parking spot, which is absolutely insane. It can already do that. And then, of course, the dream for NIOs is to be able to swap at night when you're sleeping. Let the car drive itself to the swap station and then have it swap to full and then come back and park. And that would be a little bit difficult, maybe quite, in terms of regulation, quite a few miles off. But remember, in China, NIO is also ahead in the L3, L4 game. All right, in terms of the L3, L4 approval, NIO is also ahead. NIO has L3, L4 testing license for all cities here in China, whereas most other competitors, most other cars, they only have L3 testing in one single city. So in terms of that, NIO is also ahead, okay? So what you're looking at is the future of battery swap, where you can just, multiple cars can come at the same time, swap and go, and battery swap stations will be the replacement for gas stations in the EV age. And what's even more crazy, all right, what's even more crazy is the fact that, of course, with franchising, you're going to see an ocean of swap stations everywhere here in China. There's going to be swaps everywhere. And with that, the future is guaranteed to be successful for battery swaps. Everybody's coming in to build swap stations, okay? So this hints that the future is going to be filled with swap stations. The future is going to be filled with these multi-base swap stations, and these multi-base swap stations will be the replacement for gas stations in the EV age. And wow, you can't be even more bullish than that, guys. All right, the blue skies are coming, guys. Blue skies are coming. All right, and just stay buckled up for the rocket ship ride, guys. All right, as always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.